It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and it's time for us now to have a look at what's going on in Eastern Eyre football. We're following the fortunes, of course, of Central Eyre United, and the footy club president, Jared Sampson, joins me on the line right now. Sambo, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not so bad, mate. Still dry over here, so that rain dance did last week didn't work for us, mate.
Yeah, apologies. I probably offended Mother Nature rather than coaxed her into it, but I'll continue to try. I'll do my very best. Maybe I should stop trying. Maybe that's the problem.
It's beautiful living weather, mate. It's some rain would be nice sometime soon.
Perfect footy weather. How were the conditions at Warrnambool on the weekend?
Couldn't have got a better day for it, mate. Bit breezy, but at the same token, nothing to impact the game of footy. So, perfect conditions out there. It's great way to launch a new venture at Warrnambool. Another unbelievable crowd at the footy. The interest just continues to build. So, great to see people make the journey and plenty of support. Opposition clubs, I think it's been really, really great this year to see within the league that the support from both clubs on each day is massive. People hanging around afterwards. It's been a real good start to the year and real social buzz about the place. It's been really enjoyable.
Plenty through the gate again. Any idea what the gate numbers were?
It's close to 5:30 this week, mate.
Right.
So, another tremendous, for just a minor round game. It's unbelievable. So let's hope it continues, particularly during the middle of season. I know it's dry, but it's great to see so many people jump off the tractor for the day and get along to watch the footy.
Warrnambool was the venue. We're going to start with Central Eyre United and look at the Junior Colts game. And here it was the home side who were too good for Ports in the end, who came up the highway in their drove, so they could only muster up 1 point in the Junior Colts, and Central Eyre United picked up 4 goals, 3-27. Well done to the youngsters.
Yeah, they'd be happy with another win, mate. Slowly getting their head around the song. It's quite entertaining watching them trying to sing it, actually. But another young Ryan, he's a young lad who's coming down from up at Nudgee Comforter. He's fitting into the side really well, starting to get to know the lads and plays an exceptional game of footy. So he'd be one to watch in the years to come, young Rowan. So between him and Hendo Cook, Cooper Petty again, really starting to gel the boys, and it's great to see him having a bit of fun out there.
Oh, he's a cult hero already of mine. That's my second favourite Eyre Peninsula town name, just behind Muttamuckla. You've got anyone from Muttamuckla running around for you, have you?
No, none down here, mate.
All right, good stuff. So well done to the youngsters. We'll move on to the senior Colts because, it doesn't get any closer than this, mate. Season's first draw.
Absolute ripper of a game, mate. I was on the steak sandwich stand watching this one right down to the wire. So Port kicked the goal to tie it up with only a matter of seconds to go. So unbelievable scenes in front of the club with the crowds. Got to give it to the Port supporters. They can make some noise. So it really added to the atmosphere, and they're really enjoying the crowds actually, and seeing some senior guys get out there with them. So fantastic game of footy. If we had a kick straight, you never know. But same token, it's the result the game deserved, to be honest. You couldn't split them all day. So end to end from start to finish. That name again, Jacob Ryan, is Rowan's older brother. He's coming down as well. So we missed him last week against Kimber. And another hard at it in and under player that once he gets the ball, he's off and running. He's hard to catch. So fitting result. Wouldn't be disappointed with that, to be honest. But fantastic game of footy.
Indeed, and there were some other regular names that were prominent as well. Tomney and the Best, Milan, Big and Joseph, but Sampson booting 2 to be the only multiple goal kicker for Central Eyre United. The rest was shared around 8 goals, 13-61 to Port's 9-7-61. Port's only had the 3 goal kickers on the day, and Turner and Alton's booted 7 of their 9 between them. So got some work to do in defence perhaps.
It was a stark contrast. You had one side with a couple pitching in and kicking all the goals, and our boys shared them around. So Charlie Sampson has enjoyed the switch to the forward lines. He probably hasn't played a lot of footy up there, so he kicked a cracking banana from the boundary that got the boys up and about. But young Ruth Tomney, his footy has just gone to another level this year. It really highlights when you see a kid like him improving out of sight that this move we've made to to join Central Eyre and Woodner and make a new club and join a new league, the benefit for the kids that we're seeing is you can't put a value on it. It's just been amazing to see.
Benefit for the B grade boys, they get to play regular games as a club against pretty solid opposition in this competition, and again that was the case. Port's put up a bit of a fight, but your boys were too good in the end here, 12-8-80 to 4-7-31, so 49-point win. That's a pretty high-scoring Resi's game. Yeah,
great result, you summed it up. The B grade's really reaping the rewards of having some more numbers on the track, not relying on Colts to fill up the team every week. William Sampson, he's really stepped up in the ruck there. He's Kano's son, and he's really coming along with his footy. As he gets a bit more confidence, bit of advice from Fink North. It's really seeing his game grow, and you see Mark was in the best as well. So good to see Scotty Williams on the track after pinging a driver at train a few weeks ago, but they're really starting to gel together, the B graders, and starting to play some good footy.
Indeed they are, and they'll have a fair test this week, which we'll get to a little bit later on. But in the A-grade clash, unfortunately, the injury curse has struck again for Central Eyre United, but in a very, very tight, dour, low-scoring clash, it was Ports who got the better of you in the end, in the long run, 6-10-46, Central Eyre United 4-8-32. And other than, I guess a quick start where Ports didn't score in the first quarter, they sort of got on top in that second quarter and held that advantage for the rest of the day.
Yeah, the breeze was blowing down the ground, so we kicked off with it, and probably the game reflected that. It was a scoring end, and we just couldn't capitalise on it with the amount of ball we had early. So tough, hard, physical game of footy. The two of us matched up quite well, and it just seems to be the tale of the tape that come the end of the game, neither of us had any left on the bench, so both of us hit pretty hard again. I don't know if that's just not playing for 18 months and trying to get back into it, but it'll come. You'd rather have these at the start of the year than the end. So while disappointed not to get the win, at the same token, plenty to build on, mate. Good to see we're around the mark. We're competitive, and if we can get a few more back in, we'll continue to push and grow the gel as we grow. But Corey Waters just absolutely outstanding again. He's as tough as they come, and I think he's really caught the attention of the opposition. His ability to make space and distribute the ball is second to none, and strength throughout the ground, up high, down low. He's just amazing to watch, particularly standing out there. He sort of catch yourself at times just watching him in awe at what he's doing out there.
Jericho going all right for you guys as well. Jackson, the other Waters boy, all named in the best. Clint Winter up forward, booted Sue. Jesse Stringer, the story out of this game, unfortunately. I don't think he saw quarter time. Hamstring niggle, is that right?
Yeah. He's leaves a hole when someone like him limps off in the first 5 minutes, mate. But what do? Give someone else a chance to step up, and I think we've seen that with young Corey Waters and Tyson Jackson in the middle there. They're trying their best to fill their hole, but they're slowly running out of partners of crime in the middle there. So, can't do much about it. But trap the legs. Hopefully Stephen gets out of the way and we can all get back on the track.
Yeah, indeed, fingers crossed. And Rakawasa doing a great job as the main man at Ports this year. We know he's a star. We know his quality, but he's dragging his boys along at the moment and doing it quite well.
Monster of a man. It's a luxury to have him just floating through the midfield, cross half forward, mate. He's doing a good job with the kids there. He's got a wealth of knowledge. So Cooper Llewellyn, you look at some of the names in there. They got a lot of young kids with a lot of height and move the ball really well. So some talented kids there. If they can hold on to them for the long term, they'll definitely be quality side as the years go on.
The other A-grade match in Eastern Eyre football, of course, was the Eastern Rangers taking on Kimber Districts. And the Rangers got the better of the Tigers here, 7-14-56 to 3-4-22. So a comfortable win, but low-scoring A-grade games. It must have been a fluky wind in the afternoon, was it? Making it a little difficult for goal kicking?
Not sure. It's interesting to see on the score, mate, that Kimber only kicked the 1 point after half time. I don't know if that would have ever happened with those guys. It's 3 goals for the game. Well, you can usually pencil Berger fits in for that for a half time score, mate. So
it's true.
Yeah, it was would have been a cracking game of footy to watch. Battle of the midfields for sure. Again, not sure what to read into it with had Rangers kick straight, 7 goals 14. You flick that other way, it's quite the blowout, isn't it? So, yeah, see, same players in the best for both teams as each week. You got Reece Benke, the Kenny boys, Pat Jenner kicked a handful. So, yeah, I think Rangers have really shown they're going to be a team to beat this year. Good hard run in midfield. So, yeah, it's going to be a test for us this week, I suppose. See how we stack up.
Well, it will be. They're a solid footy club and have been for some time, the Eastern Rangers. But, yeah, interesting. Both games, A-grade games, only having 10 goals kicked in them. Very low-scoring contest last week and not a drop of rain around. So maybe just an anomaly. It's certainly not like that every week. Normally we've got plenty more goals than that kicked in this competition. So I wouldn't suggest it's a trend of any sort.
No, not at all. Maybe all us defenders are doing a better job than people give us credit for, perhaps. But it's interesting to see that 20 goals between 2 games for the weekend. You'd usually count on that in the one game. We'll see how it tracks along. Weather is definitely not playing a part in the goal scoring, that's for sure. So couldn't have had better weather for footy the last few weeks.
Let's have a look at this week's games and Kimber Districts. First of all, before we get to your game, they will host Cow. Now, give us your tips on this one. You would expect Kimber should win and win fairly comfortably at home.
Yeah, I'd be backing Kimber to win comfortably. I wouldn't have imagined they would have lost 2 games in a row, not for a long time, if ever. They'd be keen to get back on the winners list after a loss on the weekend. I'm definitely glad I'm not coming up against them, that's for sure. So they had a couple out on the weekend, I see, with James Cant missing after we played them. So a couple of midfielders to come back in and just adds more depth to that side, doesn't it? So definitely backing Kimber for a win.
Yeah, never a good time to get Kimber, but off a loss is probably the worst time, particularly at home. So, yes, the Tigers there. You get to host back-to-back games. You move from Warrnambool to Kyne-Cutter, and it'll be Kyne-Cutter's first crack at it. For Central Eyre United, I believe, they'll welcome the Rangers to town. They'll come up the highway from Cleve and Rideau, and I'm sure, first of all, be more than welcome, but second of all, another big crowd on offer for you guys hosting.
Yeah. Hopefully they've got a good following, Rangers, so it should be good to see another good crowd at the footy. Weather's looking not too bad, actually. Again, unfortunately, it's not raining, so I expect a decent crowd there on the weekend, and we'll see how we go against them. Tough test. They're definitely up and about as the season's gone on, so we'll see if our old trainers can flip a bit of cement into the water bottles for a few of our boys and seeing if we can have a crack out there and see how we go.
Fair enough too. I mean, this is a footy club at the moment that in Eastern Eyre football is top on every ladder. It has lost a game in the senior Colts, still top there though, but it's top of the ladder in every competition right now. So that's the quality throughout the footy club. You're going to have to do well to win any games on the day at home, but at Kyne-Cutter and the way some your senior Colts, for example, are going, and the Rezzies as well, the Rezzies will be a cracking game.
Yeah, Rezzies will be a great game of footy to watch, I think. As we're slowly getting more on the track and coming together, I think. Generally, you don't count on fitness being associated with the B grade, but starting to see a lot of boys getting on the park and interested in footy this year. So as that fitness base build, we're seeing them become a lot more competitive. Senior Colts, I'd imagine Rangers will be out to get one back on them after the first game. Obviously, had a few boys come up from Lincoln for that game to give us a hand that weekend. So should be a good showing, but we'll see how they stack up against them this time around without a couple of ins from Lincoln.
Look forward to chatting with you next week, Jared, and all the best for the hosting the game at Kyne-Cutter for Central Eyre United. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a look at what could be Mortlock squads. I think we're a few weeks away still from Mortlock being worried about, but I know that there'll be preparations going on at association level behind the scenes now for trainings and coaches and the like. So I'm sure there'll be some more information that will come out about that soon.
Yeah, squads have been released, mate. So got Pat Jenner coaching the Mortlock side this year, so he'll bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table. So yeah, training kicks off on the 2nd of June, I think, down at Cleve. It should be good to see if everyone's available for the weekend, it should be a pretty handy side. There's no shortage of midfielders, that's for sure, and some real quality there. So I think most guys are pretty keen to get down there and a couple of years off, get back to Lincoln and have a red-hot crack. So under 15 squad's shaping up not too bad as well. Eastern Eyre have always been quite strong in the juniors, run a very good junior program. So it's going to be great for our young fellas to be involved in that as well. Find out more over the next couple of weeks, mate, as the squad gets trimmed off before the weekend.
Good stuff, mate. Look forward to talking to you about it. Again, all the best for the weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Cheers, mate. Keen to see that rain dance work its magic next week if it could.